We have two more speakers for the evening, and like they said, reserve the best for the last. We'll be having desserts after lovely lunches and breakfast which we had in the morning. मैंने कहा था हमारे पास ऐसे दो स्पीकर्स हैं जो एक नौकरी में बहुत खुश है और एक नौकरी से इतना खुश नहीं है. I'd like to call upon Shri Bhanuprakash Inani from Indore, who was in Eicher Volvo in a very good position and enjoyed the job very, very much. But then he realized कि यार मैं जब तक काम करूंगा मैं पे टिका रहूंगा, मैं थोड़ा भी अगर कुछ कम ज्यादा हो गया तो जय श्री कृष्ण अपनी भाषा में. So he quit and then started his own company, and in his micro financing in the finance sector, so more directly from the horse's mouth, or should I say the swan's mouth, because that's what his company is known as, Mr. Bhanuprakash Inani.
Thank you, Mr. Bang. I am audible and I'll be more comfortable talking to you from here. He has been quite smart, sir. He has been a professor, so he has to be smart. He put both the speakers, one who enjoys the job and one who has quit the job, almost together. So I don't know what he is going to be up to as a moderator. Is he going to question me or is he going to question the other gentlemen? I leave it to him. But let me tell you something quite interesting. When I received the invitation from Mcircle, I was just going through, and every time that I read Mcircle, somehow it appeared to me as miracle. You know, if you just look at it, it is miracle. And a big round of applause. Of course, I thought I will be telling you and requesting you for this applause, because one is, of course, for the miracle group, and second, to waken you up. But I never expected. We had a fantastic session just about this session before. So let's do the favor of a big round of applause for the miracle group. There have been fantastic speakers before me, very wise speakers. They have all specifically mentioned about how to grow businesses. They have touched on all the points that I could actually think of. So the job has become difficult. But yes, one thing which I like is something that they missed out, which puts everything to null and void. I'm sorry, but that's what my assessment is. You need focus. Yes, we need focus. We need passion. Yes, we need passion. We need goals, we need targets, we need support. But I think all becomes null and void if we don't have cash. Correct? It's very simple to say. We can have goals, we can have charts, and sorry, Mr. Mantri, but we can surely have PQRST and all those kind of stuff. But without cash, it really becomes a problem. Am I correct, sir? Okay. So, to run my thing, I'll just introduce Swan Finance very fast because we don't have time. Before cash, yes, time is very important. That I fully agree. So I'll be very sankshipt, I'll be in a nutshell. I'll be just walking through the slides, because cash being the king, that's the chapter, that's the topic which was given to me. And I believe it doesn't require much of convincing. Correct? So I'll just run through slides what Swan Finance is and why do I believe cash is a king. Yeah. This is my company. I was in a job with Eicher Volvo, a premium company, and 3 or 4 years down the line I realized that I'm really working pretty hard for this company, and I felt that if this is the work that I can do it for myself, I think I'll be earning more. And that's what actually made me an entrepreneur. I floated this company in 1995. Yeah, just keep on pressing fast. This was incorporated in 1995. Now it has a team of 40 plus. Just keep on pressing. Yeah, manually. And we are there in Indore. Okay. No, you can just keep on manually. I think that will be much better because I don't want any kind of confusion. Swan Finance Limited, we are a boutique investment banking outfit, more into advisory services, financial services, and now it's a 40 people team. The best part is that we have been adjudged as the best financial advisory award in 2010 by CNBC TV 18 for tier 2 cities. So this of course happens to be the best award that we got for tier 2 cities. We are the first. We are also the founder member of Independent Financial Advisors. Yeah, the next slide please. Our mission, yeah, you can just scroll. Yeah, okay. Now, I have mentioned all the missions, and my working for the last 20 years, I would want to share with you that knowledge is required, cash remains at the top, knowledge is required, but before knowledge, we actually require integrity, we require trust, we require faith. What Mr. Mantri has said, I fully endorse. I have noticed that people are very knowledgeable, but still they can't crack any kind of deal or probably can't break the ice because they turn out to be at least seemingly appearing to be shrewd or maybe too cunning. Believe me, gentlemen, in the last 20 years of my career, I have found that if I go and talk to somebody and I tell them, sir, this particular point I am not aware, let me go back, check and come back to you, and I am telling you I am not so knowledgeable, he still accepts that and wants to shake hand with me. So the logic is, knowledge is not again the top priority. Skill, yes you need, but you can always be very humble and telling him or letting him know that yes, this is something which falls in my area, I think I need to go back, check and come back. And he will be with you. Mark my words. That's what I have understood. And per se in finance, I have noticed that finance and trust or finance and faith, they are actually two sides of the same coin. You are credible or you are not credible totally depends on what you commit in finance. And you are as old as the last deal. They say from 1 to 99 you do good deals. In the 99th deal you have done a hopeless one or maybe represented something wrong, you have to start from scratch. I'm sure you people have played Samp City in your olden times. It is exactly like that. And not only finance, I would say in all the businesses which Mr. Mantri has told us, that trust is something that is very hard to build. Our generations, our forefathers, they have really done it. And possibly that's the reason that we are probably remarked and we are accepted in the society in whichever way we go about doing it. So this is what I have been sharing and I realized. Now I come to the point which was given to me by Mcircle organizers, cash is king. Now this is something which does not require hard convincing. Yes, cash is the king. In case this is not there, I may have a good focus, I may have everything, but then yes, I still cannot reach it unless I have this. This is a quote which is quoted by Jack Welch in one of his very good books, The Winning. He is considered to be the top 20 business leaders or top 10 business leaders. He was with GE. And not only this, but he has given out several quotes and a lot of people, they follow him. So he said cash is the king. But somehow there is still a catch. This statement happens to be half true and a little incomplete. I will come to that as to how it is complete, but let's first talk about how cash is king. Please. I'm just mentioning the points. Cash is king. Why? Recessionary times differentiate men from boys. If you don't have cash and you've committed large, you leverage yourself large, whenever the times are down, which happened 2008, before that we have seen, it has happened several times, the men and boys, they get differentiated. Credit rating strong, expansion of margins. If you have cash in your pocket, you can always negotiate and expand your margins. I'm sure real estate people, they know how much cash important is. Mining, real estate, he said the last maybe 20-30 businesses that he was talking about, how much cash important is. Great opportunities. The best part is if you have cash in recessionary times, you can inorganically develop. That's the beauty about being cash rich, right? If you want to expand, sit quiet. As soon as the recession times come, you have the cash, buy them out at 30-40% of their actually NAVs or maybe their intrinsic value, and you've expanded. So that's the beauty about cash. You may have passion in the present business, but with passion you go about creating the business, I would probably differ here. Wait for some time, let the recession come down, recession bring down maybe the boys, buy those assets at 20-30% value, and you expand. Now, why did I say that cash is king could be incomplete? Cash balance on the balance sheet is not sometimes good. There are a good number of companies which have cash, but I would not rate them to be good. Why? Why the cash gets created? Cash is something which actually gets created because of amortization or depreciation. In the sense, your company balance sheet is not having profit, but you still generate cash because depreciation is not a cash charge. So what happens is cash gets accumulated on the balance sheet. Now what does that mean? That you are actually not going in for capex or going in for improvement of the machines. That could be one of the statement. I am telling you all this just by reading the balance sheets in the last 20 years, analyzing most of the businesses, why they have gone bust or why they have grown. This is a pure analysis of 20 years that I am talking about. Huge cash balance because of depreciation, reserve or amortization which has not been utilized properly. Huge cash balance arisen on account of mismatches. This is a very big point. I have noticed almost 40 to 50% of businesses, they go bust because there is a huge mismatch. It is genuinely true, never plan for very long. You should break it into 2-3 years, further break it into quarterly and understand what are the long-term, short-term cash requirements and draw out the flow. That's the best way of handling cash. Bulging of balance on account of non-operating cash surplus. This is a very big problem with major companies outside, maybe not India, that you do have cash balances, like for example Apple balance sheet. Apple balance sheet has almost about $170 billion of cash. 170 billion, I'm sure you multiply a billion by 6,000 crores. That's the kind of money they are having on the balance sheet. Now this money actually is a cash lying outside various SPVs or various companies worldwide which cannot be utilized because they cannot be brought back to America. If they are brought back, there is huge amount of taxation. Now you might see the cash balance on the balance sheet, but incidentally it is of no use. So that is also one reason why I would say, looking at the balance sheet, there is a cash balance, I still would not say it's okay. The last is actual cash balance leading to a drag in earnings. This is a typical problem with very many software companies, and lately we had with Infosys till the time this new gentleman did not come in. Infosys was saddled with cash. The cash is put into liquid funds or maybe into banks, FDRs and all that. Your present business is generating a great amount of return on capital employed. I'm sure you people know what is the return on capital employed. But unfortunately, the cash which is lying on the balance sheet is put at a very low yielding instrument, which is 2, 3, 4%. Now that actually is a load on the company. So either you return it back to the shareholders or utilize it. Utilize it inorganically whenever there is recessionary times or whenever you get a good target. So Infosys, huge balance sheet, huge cash balance on the balance sheet. But no, it's still not worthwhile. So this is something which we have an example out here, and this could be possible with very many groups also. I have noticed there are a lot of people who from generations have been doing commodity businesses, have been sitting on huge amount of cash. The next generation does not identify themselves with that particular business. And this cash cannot be actually given to those new generation for something that they want to do. And unfortunately, this cash actually gets into something which is not yielding good returns. It goes into interest-bearing instruments, which why I would say not, because it is not promoting entrepreneurship. And unfortunately, those groups, they might be sitting on huge cash, but they slowly and slowly go towards dying down. The next slide, please. So what is the complete statement? If cash be the king, then cash flow is the queen. Now we knew this long back. I do not know why Jack Welch did not come to India, and quite from us. Lakshmi is the one that we have been praying for ages. And cash be the king, then yes, cash flow is something that is almost like very important and a basic document for every balance sheet, for every every organization. Cash flow is a flow. Instead of Water in a pond or in a talab or a still water is not something which gives you comfort. It is the river which gives you comfort. When there is a flow, there is a cash coming and cash going out, you are happy. If you have cash, believe me, just try and work out and read the psyche of that particular man, and he will feel it's quite possible that I may actually lose out. I don't have the confidence. मेरे पास तो इतना सही है, ये कहीं मैं खो नहीं दूँ. And when there is cash flow coming in and cash flow going out, he is confident. That's the reason I'm saying cash flow. The next slide, please. What positive cash flow statement enhances? Entrepreneurial capabilities, energy levels are impressive, motivation is high. It's a basic financial document giving meaning to balance sheet and P&L account. Let me tell you friends, on this particular aspect, there are a good number of companies now, and in the latest, most of the valuations are happening on cash flow basis, not on the balance sheet. What's the kind of asset? They are not interested. There are a good number of examples recently where you tell them these are the cash flows and they'll give you value based on that cash flow. Sometimes I'm surprised, there are recent companies which are burning cash. We were talking while having lunch. Snapdeal, Flipkart, they are losing money like mad. They do have a cash flow, maybe that is coming from equity side, and they are valued huge. So what I'm trying to say is, still cash, a cash which is just simply lying unutilized is nothing but a dead cash. A cash flow is something more important. Valuations are based on it. It justifies the meaning of money volume. When cash comes and goes, you feel happy. You go home happy. It's a motivational, strong feeling that you take home. You want to do more of business. The next slide, please. There are a good number of meaningful quotes which I would want to maybe share with you. The fact is that one of the earliest lessons I learned in business was that balance sheets and income statements are fiction. Cash flow is reality. So instead of cash, it's cash flow which is reality. If your operating cash flows are negative, your days are numbered. I mean, it's a no-brainer, I would say. Maybe the next one, please. Now this is where things have changed. Cash was something in 1970s and 80s, or maybe the later 80s or early 90s, cash was important. Subsequent to 90s, it was cash flow which was important. And of course now we have a great generation of technocrats, and I would say knowledge. Somebody mentioned Saraswati. That's right, sir. Saraswati has taken over. It's knowledge which is the game changer now, and it's a lure which even can take away the queen. In the business world, there's a beautiful quote: everyone is paid in two coins. One is cash and the other is knowledge. You take the coin of knowledge first and cash will follow. People used to make money, but somewhere along the way it started making us. So knowledge has become all the more important. Next, please. I was also mentioned by one of the organizers that I have to speak on something which I feel rising together. Now one is such kind of congregation, conclave, it's beautiful. The second is, since we have been able to come up right up till here, and as I told you, that focus, goal, passion, all that is important, but cash is important. And sometimes there are people in our samaj, brainy ideas in our samaj, young generation in our samaj having fantastic ideas. Unfortunately, they don't have cash. They have the passion, they have everything, but they don't have the cash. I would request people who have established themselves, have reached to a certain level, the elderly people who have cash with them, but they don't want to come out or maybe shell out that money. Please try to create some sort of a private equity, some sort of a fund which is absolutely sector specific to samaj. I should not be termed as communalist or secularist out here, but the simple logic is, if you want a nation to grow, the samaj has to grow. And there are a good number of people in our samaj who have brilliant ideas. I was sitting with one gentleman in a global investors meet. He was a Maheshwari sitting next to me. And the MP government, CM, he spoke out and he said, I have created a 100 crore private equity fund. Now this gentleman, he asked me, what is this? What is he talking? I said, he has created a fund. But what is this fund for? He said, he is ready to invest in ideas. And you know, this gentleman told me what? Hey, then this is, ये अपने काम का नहीं है, because fund तो हमारे पास में भी है, idea कहाँ है? That's what he said. Now that's the time I realized. Try and appreciate. there are two sections in our society. One, rich, and second, not so rich. The rich people, they give money, or rather I would put it this way, the lender, borrowers. There are two people. Rest all are mediators. I mean banks, other people, they are all, facilitators. So in this entire world or in this entire society, there is one part which is a lender and the other part there is a borrower. Both are necessary in the economy, or else where the lender will lend or where the borrower will take the money. Now try and understand that the lender who is lending the money, he is full of confidence. He says, मैं मेरा तो डबल करता ही हूँ. I mean, he is less of confidence. I'm sorry, the lender. He says, मैं मेरा पैसा कभी डबल नहीं कर सकता, मेरे को डर लगता है. So I am ready to give it to someone at a fixed interest rate. Look at the borrower. He says, मैं मेरा तो पैसा डबल करता ही हूँ, भाई आपका भी करता हूँ, आप भी दे दो, या उसमें से कमाऊंगा, उसमें से मैं आपको कुछ दूंगा. And this is a simple, understanding of the whole economy or whole samaj, that the borrower is hardly about 1 or 1.5%, which is known as the enterprising side, and the lenders is the entire society. And that's the reason that you have industrialists or you have entrepreneurs or you have rich people, only that few minimum.